The next thing we know about effort is that while work is contractual, effort is deeply personal. A few years ago when we were writing a book, I was doing some field research and I went up to visit the folks at Wegman supermarket. And so I was going to have a tour of the store at 2 o'clock with the store manager and his entourage. But I decided I probably wasn't going to get a true picture of what the store was like if they knew that some guy was coming and they were going to be on their best behavior. So I went in an hour or two before just as a regular shopper. And I decided that I would put an employee, some random employee that I picked, to what I consider to be the ultimate test of store knowledge and customer service commitment in a grocery store. And to me, the ultimate test of store knowledge and customer service commitment in a grocery store is to ask the question, where would I find the canned French fried onion rings? Now, a few of you are chuckling because you know why that is the ultimate test of customer service commitment and store knowledge in a grocery store. Because you know what? There's not a soul in this room that knows where to find the canned French fried onion rings in a grocery store, is there? Now, some of you are saying, what is this guy talking about, canned French fried onion rings? And others of you know exactly what I'm talking about. And they are things that were invented a number of years ago. They serve only one purpose on the entire earth, and that is to what? Rest atop green bean casserole. Right? You know what I'm talking about, don't you? In fact, it has been said that you would sooner make a green bean casserole without the green beans than without the canned French fried onion rings. And so I went up to this man, and you can see that he is not a stock fellow. He is a sushi chef. And I went up and asked him, where would I find the canned French fried onion rings? Now, this is a man holding a very sharp knife in his hand. It was a real testament to his commitment that he did not take that knife and slice me into very small slivers and put me on top of a bed of rice with a dab of wasabi. But instead, he said, let me show you. I know exactly where they are. He took off his gloves and his apron, and he took me 23 aisles down. This is a huge store. He found he knew it. He didn't have to consult a directory or anything. Went down to the bottom shelf of they don't get much respect, these onion rings. He said, how many would you like? I said, 1. 89 cents. 2.5 cents to the bottom line. And I thanked him kindly, and I took my can of French fried onion rings. Now, I didn't really have a use for them because I was traveling, like on business, but I was having dinner with some friends that night at their house, so I actually bought the can. I didn't have the heart to put it back on the shelf. Bought the can, and my friend told me later she made a dandy casserole with it. But I came back in the store about an hour later to meet with the manager. And I said to him during our tour, and it was like 5 of his top team members, this is a huge store, 700 employees in this grocery store. I'm not kidding. And so he took me around, he said, I said, I would like for you to introduce me to someone and I explained to him what I call an extra miler, somebody who routinely goes above and beyond in the course of their work. And he said, oh, I've got about 700 of them here, but one that I can think of in particular, he's our sushi chef. Let me introduce you to him. I said, no introduction needed. I've already met Philip. And so he took me back there, and Philip looked at me as if to say, oh, you again. And I explained to him why I was there. We had a little laugh about it. But, I said to him, Philip, your manager has singled you out as someone who goes above and beyond, a real extra miler. I have seen this myself. I witnessed this, and that you stopped what you're doing, took me all the way from this little can of French fried onion rings, and your customer service skills were great. I said, why do you put so much into your work, into your employer, into what you do? He said, well, there's a lot of reasons. He said, but one that comes to mind readily for me is this. And he told me his story. He had come to the United States from the Philippines 25 years before when he was 18 years old, the youngest of 8 siblings. He and 6 of his siblings immigrated from the Philippines to the United States, leaving their eldest sister still living there. He came here, they all settled. Everyone else settled in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Philip got married and lived in Fayetteville, New York. His sister, who remained in the Philippines, had never been to the United States, and none of them had ever been able to go back to the Philippines. So there was 25 years they had not seen this one sister. She was able now to come to the United States for an extended visit. She was going to stay for 6 weeks. Of course, the rest of the family was living in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, which is a 6-hour drive from Fayetteville, New York. Well, so Philip began to try to figure out how he could get enough time off and put his vacation together and his weekends and trade schedules with people and all this so that he could spend as much time as he could with this long-lost sister. And the manager of the store found out about it and said, wait a minute, time out. How much time do you need? He said, well, my sister's going to be here for 6 weeks. He said, well, we'll just plug you into the store down in Cherry Hill. We got a sushi department down there. I think they probably need somebody like you down there. We can get somebody here, take your place in training for a little while. Go down there for 6 weeks. Not a question asked. Changed his life, changed his sister's life. And when he came back, he said, you know what? My employer goes above and beyond for me. I'm here for the duration to go above and beyond for them. The very same kind of thing happens with your organization.